crowd is slightly thinning out, and I can see for the right reasons. So time is of the constraint in this session, but it is a very important session, considering what has gone ahead and where and how we need to conclude today's deliberations. We did have a reasonably clear macro level vision presented by the government and a sort of wish list by some of the senior leaders of business in the state. But the important thing is that the difference happens on the ground at a micro level. And that is very important, where the macro level picture or the macro level intentions, policies, call it what you will, needs to dovetail with ground up action. And that is how business or a transformational change in business can happen, and particularly in the case of West Bengal. We have a set of distinguished speakers representing the industry, and the session rightly is called the industry perspectives. The way we will play the session would be for 5 of the panelists to make some initial observations. Maybe I can give 1 or 2 pointers. And after the first round, we could, depending on how the time goes by, we could have a second round of rapid fire questions, as they say. So we start off with Mr. Anupam Mukhopadhyay, who is the CEO of Bengal Gas Company Limited. Very, very important, sir. Your role is very important, especially from an energy security perspective. Because in the current geopolitics, though somehow we find that there is an ease of tension globally, but it is not quite so. What is easing out now could very well be a problem tomorrow. That's been the pattern, and that's the new normal that we have to reckon with. So, Mr. Mukhopadhyay, if I could ask you, how do you see, in terms of your business, how that could ensure energy security, availability, and affordability, and how you see that helping in a transformational change in the business and in the business of Bengal and in the lives of the people of Bengal? Over to you.
Thank you. Bengal Gas Company is inheriting a legacy which is more than 170 years old. We are basically carrying the flag which was started in 1870 by Oriental Gas. Now, Oriental Gas has become Greater Calcutta Gas Supply Corporation, and they are our promoter company in this. The other promoter is GAIL India Limited, which is the leading business, which is having the biggest business segment in natural gas. Now, what is natural gas? It is methane, the new age fossil fuel, one of the cleanest fossil fuel that is available to us. So as we move towards greener future, this methane or natural gas has become what is called bridge fuel, because it is very difficult to transition on our dependence on diesel, petrol and other liquid fuel to renewable energy. So we will be acting as a bridge fuel, and this is happening all over the world. Again, what Mr. Sanyal said, that the division between western and the eastern part. So this particular use of natural gas is maximum in the western part, particularly Gujarat and Maharashtra. Things started way back in 90s. The use of natural gas spreaded in Gujarat and Maharashtra in 90s. And it has reached so late in West Bengal, it has reached in 2022 when we first started gas supply in a fertilizer plant near Durgapur. Now in the cusp of another, I'll say, transformation, in the sense that the natural gas will reach each and every urban household and also the industries within the urban areas. That is very necessary to reduce the pollution level where the population density is high. So presently, West Bengal has a target of around 40 to 50 lakh households are required to be, to have this access to natural gas network. But I'm sorry to say that the things has been so low. Right now, the figure is around, I believe, 16,000 household kitchens having access to natural gas. Whereas in all India figure, it is around 1.5 crore. So we have a lot of figures to catch up. We in Bengal Gas, we have taken up this job very sincerely. For in last 4 years, we have invested around 1100 crore, and we have a plan to invest another 2000 crore up to 2030 to build the infrastructure. We have an area spreaded from Kalyani right up to Bajbaj. Similarly, on the Hooghly side, we are there from Mogra up to Lubedia in the Howrah. So in this greater Calcutta area, we are establishing our infrastructure. At present, we are not yet, the gas supply has not yet reached Calcutta, but this is the biggest question I face every day in front of ministries and other places, that when the gas will reach Calcutta. So my answer, because this, I think many people are asking these answers, that if we get the right support, then this natural gas will reach KMC area by March 27. But for that, we require a lot of support. Let me tell you the obstacles that we had in previous periods. Like when we were laying pipeline along Kalyani Expressway, we had to stop work for around 7-8 months for a very petty technical reasons. So these sort of things should discourage our industries very much. So that is the enabling factors that we are looking for. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. Well, when we talk of Viksit Bharat, Viksit Bengal, and business growing in Bengal, as we all know, Bengal has a very large population of SMEs or MSMEs. So one of the questions, it's like a nagging question all the time, often addressed but not fully answered, is the question of ease of doing business. I'm going to turn over now to Mr. Rajarshi Dasgupta, because if we have to leapfrog, so to speak, to become a fully developed country in the next, 20, 30 years, we need not only ease of doing business, but as Mr. Mukundan rightly pointed out, speeding up business, speed of doing business. How does that work? From a regulatory compliance perspective. Because often we find that our regulatory landscape and compliance requirements bog down businesses. And that is a big constraint and a big impediment, I would say. So how could we streamline that? How could we make lives easier for business people to set up businesses, run businesses, and grow their businesses? Over to Mr. Rajarshi Dasgupta, the Executive Director, Head Tax, Fox and Hon'ble, but not primarily on taxation, but take a very generalistic view in terms of compliance and regulations. Over to you, Mr. Dasgupta.
Yeah. So Uh, Good afternoon, everybody. And so, just to start off, first of all, a little bit of a small thing. It's Fox Mondul and Fox and not Fox and Mondul. So just a small, a little bit of a small, yeah. So just to start with, uh, one is as we speak, I just want to give a little bit of a small introduction before I start. Is that as a country, we have made an enormous stride in improving the business standards and to set up businesses in India. And that is the exact reason India, with the aim of having a Viksit Bharat in 2047, has done remarkably well. And right from a ranking of 142, which we had in round about 2014, we have now currently on rank number 63 or 62, as the case may be. So, but is it uh, all that we are doing by doing ease of business, or what we call it? Is it important that we should have a speed of business? Because every passing day we lose in interest of the operating cost that we incur in primarily having a business in India. So when we talk of the term ease of business and speed of business, I give you a basic example. What does ease of business and speed of business means? Let's say in an ease of business, we talk of how many steps you take. In a speed of business, we talk how long each step takes. So it's just a difference. Number of procedures, compliance burden, it's ease of business. In speed of business, it's time of approval. How much time I take to get it approved. Process simplification and everything. Speed of business, it's time-bound delivery. Regulatory change, but no, it's service delivery. So it's all about the time within which I get my things delivered, everything done, business set up. It's just up and running. So that's what is called the speed of business. And trust me, India over the years have done remarkably well. Like I give you some, it's just last 4 years. I give you a snapshot. Labor code introduced, pan India, which prescribes a 30-day time limit for factory construction or expansion permits. A single window clearance system. We have the District Business Reform Action Plan, which we call the DBRAP. We have the Jan Vishwas Amendment Provision Bill in place. The Union Budget 26-27 proposed a single interconnected digital window for cargo clearance. We have the Insolvency and Bankruptcy Amendment Bill. We have the New Income Tax Act and rules streamlining provisions. But so it all goes towards the speed of business. But is that all? What we need more? Yes, we need more because there are bottlenecks. We have huge time taken for disposing judicial disputes. If it goes there, it takes huge time. We have uneven state level implementation. Different states still have different rules pan India. We have different laws for local Zilla Parishad and all these takes a longer time. We do not have a last mile digital access, because that's very important, because when we are talking of doing everything digitally, we need to have a last mile digital access, so that to speed things up, we do not have a deemed process of approval culture. So these are definitely impediments. But how do we reach that? Nothing is impossible the way India is growing. So from that perspective, if I say what we need, first, we need a mandate time-bound approval. Like, let's say, we called it a Right to Time-Bound Service Act. So we should have a single window clearance, one thing for one registration for one industry setup, which will incorporate everything. So it's a single. So there should be a law for that. There should be an institutionalization of a framework for the speed of doing business index that should set up. We should have a fast track judicial mechanism to set fast track courts and other things set up to dispose of cases. We should have land banks created in such a way that hassle-free lands which are lying, not used, it should be immediately brought into the bank and disposed of so that things gets easier and faster. So, yes, we are on the right track. We are on the right track, and I hope by doing these things and by getting these things done, things can be expedited more. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Rajoshi. You have pointed out quite a few areas where intervention is required. We'll come back to it later. But our next speaker, Mr. Ronin Banerjee, who is partner and the government sector lead of PwC, comes in at the right time because you will then interface with what we require in industry and what the government should do. So how do you make that happen? How do you build the bridges, so to speak? How do you make the partnership? We have talked about partnership in the opening session. How do we make the partnership and the going of the partnership, running of the partnership in a very smooth manner? So how do you make that happen? From a PwC perspective, what is it that you could propose?
Thank you, and good afternoon, everyone. I think the big thing that we heard today morning is that an acknowledgement that there is a problem. I think once we acknowledge that there is a problem, half of that problem is solved. Because if we try to say there is no problem, then there is a big problem. So the government has said we have a problem and we want to solve it. Now that is half the battle won. Now, I would just like to say that I was sitting in the audience and we had a comment from L&T, Mr. Deep, that we have been working, PwC has been working with government of Orissa for so many years. He has seen us, governments have changed, we have been in that room. Now I'm the government sector advisory leader. I have worked personally for the last 20 years with the government of Orissa. And I think Mr. Sanyal said that there's no kind of hesitation in saying that we need to compete with Orissa. But I don't think that that's a challenge for West Bengal. Now, Orissa, when we started in 2005, around 2005-06, there was an identity crisis there. Nobody knew in the world, in the globe, where Orissa is. What is Orissa? Where is it located? What is the brand? Now, we don't have that challenge. We actually had to advise government of Orissa to do a low-cost promotion. And what we advised them to sponsor the hockey team, which was the least expensive sponsorship you could get. Why? Because hockey was played globally. And when Indian team players go to the world and play hockey and they see Orissa there, people will be curious, what is Orissa? Is it a company? Let us Google. And then people will know where Orissa is. So we started from there. Now we don't have this problem here. We don't need to introduce West Bengal. We don't need to introduce Kolkata to the globe. So therefore, we have a very, very big advantage. Now coming, head start. And I think the question that was there, that what we should do, I think, and I will take the quote, since nowadays we watch a lot of series. I think Make in India series you must be watching, the story of Titan. And in that, Mr. Aziz Desai says one thing: no discussion, only demonstration. That's his dialogue, right, in Make in India. I think when we are talking about Make in West Bengal, it has to be demonstration. And I think two big announcements have been made in this budget. And if we just focus on those two, we should be able to do that demonstration. One is a new airport in Kalyani, and second is the Calcutta Stock Exchange. And I'll just focus on these two, that how we can do the demonstration through this. And that will kind of catalyze everything for West Bengal. Only if these two are focused on, and all the budget allocations and all focus are done only on these two projects because government has announced it. Now, the flight time from Kalyani, if you take the aerial distance, difference from Hong Kong, Singapore and Bangkok will be about 2.5 hours. Now, can we make Kalyani as the global aviation hub and build it to that scale with that ambition that we will attract all the traffic from Hong Kong, Singapore and Bangkok to Kalyani. Now imagine the kind of boost that it will give. Imagine the kind of image that it will create. Imagine the kind of statement we'll make to the globe and to the investors. And if we can ease that and get the businesses there, then that is great. The second one, Calcutta Stock Exchange. We have been talking about last 50 years. So let's go back 50 years. In the 70s, Calcutta Stock Exchange was ahead of Bombay Stock Exchange. Now Calcutta Stock Exchange is not there almost. Now if we are talking about reviving it, now we know that there is a problem in Hong Kong, right? In the financial services. And we are trying to attract from there to Gift City, which is a good thing. But Gift City is a new city. The ecosystem development will take time. Calcutta is not a new city, and Calcutta doesn't have dearth of talent. And through Calcutta, so much trade happens. Therefore, it's a natural choice that if we actually play this game very well, then we can attract the financial services from Hong Kong. And let us make that statement that we'll be the next Hong Kong. Calcutta will be the next Hong Kong. Kolkata will be the next Hong Kong. Now, if we just make these two statements, pick up these two announcements from the budget and put all our energies behind this, then we would not be discussing, but we'll be demonstrating. And then Make in West Bengal will happen. Thank you.
Excellent points. I think, Mr. Banerjee, you have hit the nail on the head, as they say. Calcutta Stock Exchange, we've all been wondering where it has gone. It's absolutely in a moribund state. So revival of the Calcutta Stock Exchange is certainly very, very important, should be done, and I think it has been addressed in the budget. The point about making Kalyani as the aviation hub, well, it's an ambitious thing, but if we can make it work, nothing like it, but there would be challenges. That's my view. But anyway, we might come back to it. Next, the next speaker on the panel represents a very, very interesting business house that has a glorious history behind it. The likes of Bamal Laurie, Andrew Yu, those were very big names, I remember, when we were kids. There have been sort of ups and downs, I think, in the business with all these large so-called managing agencies or whatever they used to be called at some point in time. Now, of course, Bamal Laurie has been doing very well, consistently doing well, and I'm sure is growing from strength to strength. So we have Mr. Saurav Datta, who is Director of Finance, Bamal Laurie, to tell us a little bit more about what their ambitious plans are and where they think policy support or government support in any shape or form might be required to make things work faster and the growth to come about faster. Over to you, Mr. Datta.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mukherjee. And good afternoon, everyone. So I'll just briefly touch upon a little about Bamal Laurie, because Bamal Laurie seems to be a very little lesser known company across, and like Mr. Mukherjee was mentioning, I mean, we have a rich 160 years legacy, and it's a very diversified conglomerate. We are into almost manufacturing, 3 types of manufacturing business and services. So services, we are into logistics, we are also in the travel and vacations. I mean, primarily because of our linkage to this travel and vacation sector, that is how we are mostly well known in the government or PSU and corporate sector, because the ticketing is generally done through that. Our head office still remains in Kolkata, though because of the business requirements, our major businesses are mostly scattered across India, that is, and primarily in western region, southern region. A very small part of it is currently in eastern region. That is because for various reasons, I mean, we have not been able to expand in the eastern region. In the earlier periods also, at various points of time, we've approached the governments and we've tried to set up some business in the eastern part near Kolkata, but we've not been able to get hold of a land, proper support and all those things. Recently, from our experience, I'll just brief you. What happened was we were trying to expand in or set up a 3PL project. which required the setting up of a warehouse. So for that, we were left to ourselves and we could not locate a government land bank from where we could have got that support. So finally, after much searching and a lot of waste of time and energy, that we finally had to settle with a private infrastructure project, where thankfully now we've been able to start our 3PL project. So let me just inform you that while we feel at Bamalori that logistics is going to be the thrust area in the coming period. So as a precursor to that, we've already set up around 2.8 lakh square foot of a warehousing hub near Dankuni. So this is comprising of a grade A warehouse. It has a temperature controlled warehouse and an open yard. So the temperature controlled warehouse is also another business segment that Bamalori is currently in. Here again, if I may highlight, this is going to be our 6th temperature controlled warehouse. So the first 5 we've been setting up outside West Bengal. That is, we started with Delhi, Bombay, Hyderabad, and now we are in Kolkata. So this is a 3,500 pallet temperature controlled warehouse that is about to start. Now these things we personally feel will get an impetus if the government policies, government directions work in the right directions. What we require is that government policies now should frame up, which should ensure that a proper land bank for the logistics segment or a setting up of a, say, cold chain cluster can be done, because West Bengal or Calcutta has a very rich legacy where we can like invest in. There is a probability where we can take benefit of pharma, horticulture, so many other things which require a controlled temperature warehouse. So including, I would also like to highlight that we also do run our own temperature controlled vehicles. So these also provide an end-to-end support for the entire government or the ecosystem. Another area where I would like to just talk about is the tourism sector. Since Bamalori is in travel and vacation, we also have a vacations division. So that is a growing sector, and I personally feel, and at Bamalori we feel, that West Bengal has a unique proposition where tourism can actually flourish. And one of the new areas that is coming up is the business tourism, that is the MICE, that is meetings, incentives, conferences and exhibitions, where again Bamalori, we are doing a lot of things, but hardly anything in eastern part or West Bengal. That is mainly because of the infrastructure being not available. That is, you require options of, say, banquet halls, you require an option of hotels, you require a mix of transport, everything. The entire ecosystem has to be there instead of a standalone facility. So where the government can come in is provide that ecosystem which help these sort of things to actually grow in a very large way. Probably, I mean, in the next segment, when, I mean, if there is any more question, I can add further to this.
No, absolutely. I think you have suggested 2 very interesting areas. One is in the warehousing logistics, and in the supply chain. This is very important, and here Kolkata, Bengal specifically can play a significant role. That's been understood very well, and the focus there is absolutely imperative. You have mentioned about tourism, which is also very important, but the other very interesting proposition is about cold chain management, and that is a very, very important, I think, intervention where businesses like yourselves and others can make things work, which would not only benefit the large agricultural players, but even the small and marginal farmers. So therefore, aggregated value proposition can sit very well if there is a proper cold chain infrastructure in place. So points very well taken. Finally, I would like to come to Mr. Vikas Varshanea, who is the director of Megatherm Induction Furnace Company. What I wanted to know from you, sir, is one of the issues, I would say, or one of the overriding issues that we need to address is about sustainable operations and green interventions, because climate risk is important. We need to come up with solutions in terms of industrial, especially in terms of energy-related interventions, where it is sustainable and green in nature. So how does your business and your interest in similar businesses help in this space, which is important? We have not addressed that, but that is very important in today's scheme of things. Over to you, sir.
Thank you. Namaskar and greetings of the day to all of you. सुबह से हम देख रहे हैं, I think this is the first forum like this where the ministers and chambers and the industrialists are coming and meeting and giving their ideas. So it appears, I think सबको लग रहा है, देखने में काफी अच्छा लग रहा है. It's a real positive feeling. That's the real greatness that in this
a feel-good factor.
the vibrancy has come up. So definitely Bengal is going to get this glory back, what was there. We are lagging behind in everything. We started, yes, as you said, we started business right from the scratch actually. We were engineers, just a small factory, started from SDF building, then we took one plot in Sector 5, then went to, because the slowly the infrastructure requirement enhanced, we went to Taratala. We taken over one Angel India Machine Tools, considering that it's a big infrastructure. But again, there is a bottleneck of infrastructure, the movement, the water. So we had to build one factory in Kharagpur. Again, initially there was a logistic problems, but suddenly the highway route has come up, but the traffic is also going up. That's okay. But in our product, we are making induction equipment for melting as well as heating. There are more than 10,000 components in this. And almost 90% of the items we have to outsource. Out of that, 40 to 50% is import, like the semiconductors, all electronics items, thyristors, capacitors. Those all are we are importing. Slowly and slowly, in Bengal, initially we sourced some material like the steel fabrication, machines from Calcutta, from the Howrah, from southern areas like the foundries and all that. But what happened? That the quality and the ecosystem is not here. So what happened? We have to outsource from Gujarat, from Pune, from Bangalore. The cost of that has gone up. Although we always felt that Calcutta is a cheaper place. That's why we could keep our hold here.
But sir, if I may just interrupt here, that is a problem, not only facing you, but yes, specifically to your industry, you are facing this problem. But at a micro level, let me tell you, reliance or availability of, one is the ecosystem, then the availability of components and the support facilities that you require. That is a challenge in a lot of places in India. As a country as a whole,
yes,
that's why so much of focus on component level manufacturing,
true,
semiconductors, etc. The other point that you have raised is about quality. And quality and standards is something which we have to be very conscious of, otherwise we will not be globally competitive.
true.
And we cannot at any point in time say that we are a fully developed country. So these are very valid points. Is there any specific sort of requests or specific wish list that you
Basically,
have in your business to make it grow?
Yes, we are exporting. Our almost 40 to 50% is export. We export to more than 50 countries of our product. This is a very niche product, and in this product, I mean, India is the pioneer. We have beaten all the multinational companies, the big houses all over the world. And this type of industry that the steel can be made from the induction furnaces is going into the, initially went to African countries, then Middle East countries, then South Asian countries, and now we are exporting to Latin America, certain European countries, CIS countries. So the port facility has to be developed here.
Right.
The port, because every time when we are exporting, the resistance, inertia is being created because of that. So that has to be developed.
Right.
We want that.
Is there anything else you would like apart from the port?
Apart from like the industrial houses, there, as he also pointed out, that we should have a certain categorized industrial parks, especially like for the foundries, for the fabrication, for the tool industries, certain for the electronics.
Like clusters.
Clusters. So those, definitely that ecosystem will be set, and they themselves will uplift everybody. Not only the quality, quantity, and all the import houses, they will come and then take the product from there, like the China has developed. Similarly, in the tier 2 cities, yes, the development, this is the right time. I mean, when I came 20 years back over there in the Newtown area, metro was building up in the other area. Then I proposed to the minister, one of the minister, and to the HIDCO chairman, that why not go for the metro right now to that area?
No,
They created, they built. So similarly, in the small cities also, in the tier 2 cities, like the Durgapur has become the hub of a steel industry.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So what has come out of this discussion that we have had is that focus at a micro level, focus is required. And two things come out very clearly. One is focus. And of course, as Mr. Banerjee had very rightly pointed out about the stock exchange and about the aviation center, whatever that is, but the stock exchange is a very, very valid point, because that then gives the right signal, which is very important. Ease of doing business is something which is very, very important, and there are lots of constraints one sees in terms of actually encouraging new businesses to come up, or for small businesses to grow, to flourish. One of the things you could possibly look at is mediation, just to ease the litigation that comes out of commercial disputes. Do you see, Rajoshi, as something that can actually come up in Calcutta? I'll give you a very interesting example. I don't know if some of you or all of you are aware of Maxwell Chambers in Singapore. That has become a global mediation hub. Like we have talked about aviation hub in Kalyani. Why not look at Calcutta as, along the lines of Maxwell Chambers, as a global mediation hub? That could be a trendsetter for the country. Because for any commercial disputes, again at an international scale, what happens is they always prefer Singapore compared to any other place in India. You'll bear me out. Can we not change that perception? Can we not make that work? Maybe I leave that thought with you. Unfortunately, due to time constraint, it's now 10 minutes past 2. You all must be famished. So we will draw the session to a close. But I think what has come out of today's deliberations is very, very encouraging. It has set all the right notes, the right vibes, the right signals, and there's a feel-good factor. So let us all work together in a partnership mode to take Bengal to the next level. Viksit Bengal, that's what we are calling it, the dawn of a new era. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, and enjoy your lunch now.
Thank you so much, sir.